we unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolfe.
There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. How you feeling, Cam? You feeling good?
I'm good, How you feeling?
Feeling good, brother. Got about a little over 3 weeks till the season starts. I'm excited.
Yep.
I think Dolphin fans should be really excited. And then yesterday with the news, first of all, Teron Armstead shows us the video of him walking, which was really good. And then he sends out the tweet that, hey, man, all is good. I don't need any surgery, focused on starting. And to me, I mean, I don't think you could ask for a better scenario than that. What I feel bad for is he's an injury-prone dude, and he has bad luck. Like, that sucks, dude. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't like an injury that it was somebody rolled up on his ass. You know what I'm saying? So the poor man also has to deal with bad luck, bro.
Yeah. Good news for Teron. No surgery. And so he's aiming for week 1, as you indicated. I talked to him yesterday after practice, and he assured me, he was like, I'm good. I'm doing really good. No worries. And so every time Teron gets hurt, I feel like all Dolphins fandom is about to panic because they understand how important he is. And you just don't have backup left tackles there. The reality with Teron, and we've seen it throughout his career, even in his 1 year in Miami, is you're going to have injury questions. I can assure you there's going to be a question at some point this season. Will Teron play? Will he not play? He's been banged up throughout his career. He has a tendency to play through pain, but he won't be 100%. That's just been the resume on Teron. You're going to get somewhere between 70 to 90% if he's healthy, and if not, he'll have to sit. And so you sort of take that given his talent, but it's not something that's going to go away. But that being said, very good news that he's going to be gearing up to ready for the season. We saw the Ramsey situation. It did not go this way. And so 4 months with Ramsey, at least, versus, a week or two with Teron is definitely a big win. And so you're right. Luck plays a factor on it. But I think it kind of is a reminder of just maybe how fragile the season can be. There's 3 or 4 dudes on this team. If you lose them, that's probably curtains. And I'd include Teron on that list. Tua's obviously on that list. And you probably can include a X or a Tyreek as well. And those are probably Holland definitely a big part of that, especially given the other safety depth on the team. And I'd probably even throw Christian Wilkins on there, given how good he's been. So
yeah. And at least with Ramsey, you have serious depth on that on the team that you can defend yourself there. But you are concerned on the offensive line, although I'll say this, they're better prepared this year for this than they were last year because Kendall Lamb has actually looked good, and he played well even last year at the end of the year. He did all right, and now he's actually had a really good camp. He's the guy you never talk about, and he's got a lot of first-team reps because Armstead doesn't practice a lot. So if you want a silver lining, it seems like you're better prepared for it. And then the other thing is this scare also keeps him on ice till the beginning of the year. And this gives Kendall Lamb 2 more preseason games to get the reps, to get in a groove, just in case they do need you, young man.
Yeah, I would say this. I do feel a little better about their immediate, maybe 6th and 7th man of the offensive line than I did last year. That being said, nobody is prepared for Teron Armstead to go down. The one thing about Kendall Lamb is Kendall Lamb's looked good in his role as a swing tackle, but he is a swing tackle. He is not a starter. And I think you get backup players playing extended time, you get them exposed. And so you see that all the time. In baseball, when you have a guy injured, you put in a replacement level player with more playing time, you show some of their weaknesses. Now, if you need him to step in for a quarter or two or a game or two for Teron, I think he showed you could survive, which is something that you probably couldn't say about the left tackles last year. But I don't think it's due where 16 games, you're going to see still a huge drop off between Teron Armstead and Kendall Lamb. But that being said, I do like the Isaiah Wynn pickup. I like the Kendall Lamb pickup. Isaiah Wynn might end up a starter on this team. Lester Cotton was a pickup that Lester Cotton's been getting a lot of good reps at left guard. You got to start thinking about, not only is he going to make the team, can he actually be a player in that left guard position? So they've got a little bit more depth than they've had in previous years, and that's something that's a valuable commodity.
Yeah, and this is an impossible question for you to ask. Okay, so I'm not really asking, expecting an answer because it's unfair.
Yep.
Is this Eichenberg's last chance? If he does get another start here, do you think they go another way and experiment and start with Wynn or Cotton? Or do they do that? Because 3, you kind of want to already maybe dress rehearsal type of thing.
Yep.
So how do you think they handle that left guard spot, going into this game? Because, we're at a point now where you've got to make a stand. You've got to put somebody there.
Absolutely.
And Eichenberg has not done enough to win it.
No, I think that Liam Eichenberg could legitimately lose his job. I think early on in camp, there was probably, we'll see how Liam responds to competition type thing, but with the expectation that he was still going to be the left guard and Wynn was still going to be a backup multi-positional player. But I think over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've seen the play of Wynn versus the play of Liam versus the play of Lester, and it's like maybe we should really consider it. And so I'd expect, if Liam does get the start again and plays poorly, I think that starting job is wide open for Isaiah or Lester to take. And so, I do think this is very important game for Liam. I would say that most teams like to have their starters all across the board after preseason game 2. Not all. There are some that say, hey, we can still play through preseason game 3, but a lot of guys want the 3 to be a dress rehearsal. And so that's something that I think we're getting very close to. Liam, it's time. It's time. He's the one guy when you look across the offensive line where you think he can legitimately lose his job. I think Austin's safe. I think Austin's played good enough that he's going to be the starting right tackle no matter what. But I think Liam is more of a concern.
Does Tua play?
I think he does play. I think he plays a couple of series. I don't know this for a fact. I'm not reporting this that he is going to play, but I do think I actually have a pretty good feeling that Tua plays. I would estimate 2 series. You want to see him and the offense flow out there, and so I think you'll see Tyreek out there with him too. And so if you look at what they did last year, they sat Tua the first game. They played Tua a little bit the second game, and they played him a little bit more the third game. And I'd expect them to do something similar this year.
Interesting. I thought maybe they'd hold him out to the.
It's possible. Like I said, I'm not reporting it as fact, but I do think that, especially given some of the struggles they've had in the last week and a half, you want to see him with the offensive line, with the receivers. Chemistry's been a question I've had about this offense. Like I did a report on NFL Network last week, or earlier this week about the Dolphins. And I think there's always the thought, hey, the Dolphins are explosive. It's just if Tua stays healthy, they're going to be great. And I think that's largely true. But I think it'd be foolish to ignore that over the last week and a half, we've seen them be very boom or bust, where they've really struggled to consistently put together plays. It's been really big play to Tyreek, sack, big play to Tyreek, defensive stop. And so that doesn't work a lot in games if somebody has somebody to slow down Tyreek. And so I want to see them put together some drives in the scoring drive, and I think Mike McDaniel does too.
What are you looking for specifically in this game? Because it's not really about wins or losses or any of that kind of shit. So individually, what are you looking for?
Yeah, individually, I want to see who separates himself in that offensive line room. We talked about it. Who's going to show their be the left guard and solidify the rest of those bench spots? I think if Isaiah Wynn becomes a starter, then Liam's a backup. If Liam becomes a starter, then Isaiah Wynn's the backup. Kendall Lamb's probably on the roster. Who gets the other spots between Lester Cotton, Robert Jones, guys like that? Is there room for both of them? Do you get can you only choose one? That's something key there. I also want to see how this the backup inside linebacker battle continues. Tyndall had a decent game his first play. Can he build on that to show that he can be that third or fourth guy? I don't know how well the Andrew Van Ginkel experiment's going on, so they're going to need Tyndall or Channing or Aubrey Miller to step up and play that third or fourth linebacker spot, or they may have to sign a veteran. And then maybe this is the quietest thing we haven't really talked about a lot. There's a starting job open on defense, and it's a safety spot opposite Javon Holland. I think at this stage, it would be foolish to expect Brandon Jones to be himself.
Halfway through the season.
And so I think he's definitely, at this stage of what we've seen, he's got to be a candidate to either start off the season slow or start off the season on PUP. And so
Elijah Campbell won that job, bro.
And so I don't know if it's officially over, but Elijah Campbell's been playing really well. They signed Deshaun Elliott, obviously, to be the veteran there. They're going to play a lot of 3 safety sets, so maybe both of those guys play. But to me, there's a lot of concern there for depth, because if Brandon's not ready at the beginning of the season, if Trill Williams is not ready at the beginning of the season, you essentially just have 3 safeties that you probably feel comfortable with on the field, and that's Javon, Elijah, and Deshaun. And so I wonder
what about Vernon McKinley III?
I don't know if I've seen enough for Vernon to make sure that he makes the roster. I mean, I don't know. I don't watch a ton of special teams, so I don't know how big of a contributor he's been on special teams this offseason, but that's how he would have to make the roster, because I haven't seen a lot out of him defensively.
Anybody that has the third in their name would make the team for me. I mean, that's adding fucking royalty to the roster. You know what I'm saying? Like the third, right? Like the fuck with this. This is Vernon McKinley the third.
There's two of him before, right?
Yeah, third, bro. This is a badass here. Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot because I know your heart is somewhere.
Yeah.
Good, Agude, and Miller. Which ones make it? Which ones don't? I know you got a little bit of an emotional tie to one of them.
So I will say that Aubrey Miller probably has the clearest path because he plays a position of need.
Over.
I will say I do know Aubrey, and he went to Jackson State, which is the city I was born in. But I will say Aubrey has the clearest path. Now, I'll think Mitchell Agude is having the best camp of any of those 3 players. If it's strictly based on the best player, the best production, then that would be Mitchell. But a lot of times it's special teams, and I don't know how any of those 3 guys have played on special teams. I can't tell you.
I like good.
I was about to say I'll keep a closer eye because it might be the mix. Like, and Cam Good, I think, has a little bit more versatility to play maybe outside and inside, and so that plays a factor too. If you're going to be, the backup linebacker, and we're going to keep you active on game day because of special teams, we got to know that in a pinch you can slide in at outside linebacker or inside. So maybe that gives Good an advantage. Whereas Aubrey Miller is clearly just an inside linebacker, and Mitchell Agude is clearly just an outside guy. And so I think,
but you had to put the money down in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Putting it on Aubrey Miller because of the special team.
I'm putting it on Aubrey Miller because he has the clearest path.
Right. Okay.
And I think he's been good. I don't think he's been great. I think he's been good. I think
they've all done something.
Yeah, they have. Like I said, I think Agude's been the biggest splash player.
Yes.
Good has been the most versatile. And Aubrey Miller has the clearest route in his position room, who's also played well. And so I think Aubrey gets in because of that, not necessarily because he's been the best of the 3.
He'll have the special teams coach. Hey, I need Aubrey.
Yeah, exactly. This is a time of the year where everybody is dating.
Linebacker ain't gonna play for you guys.
Right.
Stop greedy, you bastards.
Yes.
You defensive coordinators can't.
You don't need a good player. Yeah, I don't care that he can't play. He can play special teams. That's what I care about. This is the time of year where everybody's the Danny Crossman. Yeah, this is where everybody's Danny Crossman's best friend. Everybody's asking Danny, "Hey, Danny, what do you need, man? I'm here. What do you need?"
Come on, you can't hog up all the linebackers. I need one for me.
Yes.
You can help me on this side. Come on, coach. You want to have a good special teams? I need Aubrey.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes the guy might be like, you look at your list, and he on the roster construction, your defensive coordinator say, "Hey, he's my 8th linebacker that I would pick," and you're only keeping 6 or 5, right? but the special team coordinator said, hey, he's my number 2 guy, overall. And so I need him. And so you keep him over a guy that maybe 6 or 7.
Because that 6 or 7 guy is a projection guy.
Yeah.
Bro.
And he's probably not going to play a lot of defense anyway.
I have concrete guy for my special teams.
Right.
You're telling me if this guy does this, if this guy does that,
right.
he might help you. He
right.
Might help.
And the reality is your 6th linebacker is probably not going to play a ton. And so you might say, hey, on a given season, my 6th linebacker might play 50 defensive snaps, 100 defensive snaps, maybe over the course of a season. That averages out to maybe 5 to 7 a game, right? Whereas this guy may be playing 10, 15, 20 special teams snaps a game. Right. And so, it already is more significant of a role. And so you're drafting guys, you're keeping guys specifically based on their special teams ability. There's a lot of teams like Zach, for example, the Patriots have done it for years with Matthew Slater, who have guys simply as special teams players. Like they have a position, you just don't know it because they never play it. They're literally on the roster simply for special teams, returners. It happens with all the time, but sometimes core special teams guys as well.
Yeah, when you take special teams serious, that's what ends up happening. You end up
Clayton Fedulum, who was on the roster the last couple of years. He was essentially that guy. He got paid $2.5 million. He technically played safety. You didn't want him to play safety. You just want him to be your special teams guy.
That reminds me of Larry Izzo. Larry Izzo, God bless him. He was a phenomenal special teams linebacker, but it wasn't a guy that you ever wanted on the field at all because he just was a terrible linebacker.
Yeah,
nothing against him. You want him on special teams, but you just don't want him linebacking for your team, unfortunately. Right. What do you got going on in the NFL Network so folks can check you out?
Yeah, just hanging out this weekend with the fam, and then I'll be watching the Dolphins game from home and see what's going on in there. And then next week I will be back doing some TV on NFL Network on Wednesday. Then I'm going to head to Atlanta because I've got Falcons Steelers on Thursday. Then after that, we gear up for regular season mode.
By the way, what did you think of all the offensive line issues with the Jets? Because, it's kind of, you see it with the Dolphins, but you kind of tell people, hey, go look around the league. Most teams have issues on their offensive line.
Yes.
It does seem like in New York, they're very happy with their offensive line. And, Calf Rogers, I know this week he injured his good calf. I get it. The 40-year-old has a bad calf and a good calf, but if your line ain't good, I don't know. Calf Rogers may not be able to outrun things like he used to.
And he made an IG post this past day, yesterday or something, where he tags Garrett Wilson and says, hey, I love my 77s. I mean, my 17s. And he tags Devontae Adams as well. And on his butt, he tags David Bakhtiari, his former offensive lineman. So don't tell me he doesn't miss having that Packers offensive line. That's really good. And I think he got after the offensive line a little bit, said, hey, there's jobs up on the line. I think I told you guys last week I was there, and they were getting their butt kicked by the Panthers, like left and right. Their right tackle situation's a mess. Neither of the guys they have there, Max Mitchell, Billy Turner, have played well at all. And then Mekhi Becton, the guy they want to win the job, hasn't been able to stay healthy enough even to last a game. And so that's an issue. They don't know what they're going to do at the center spot. And then left tackle, Dwayne Brown, he's 38. You talk about Teron Armstead being old and hurt. Dwayne Brown's 38. He hadn't practiced at all. And they just say, hey, we're going to get him back by week 1, we hope. You just tell me a 38-year-old all of a sudden is going to pop up the week of the game and be ready to go. That's what the Jets are counting on. So to me, both tackle spots are concerned. And I don't know if there's an immediate answer there. So, yeah, Rodgers.
And by the way, I got asked a lot about Reisner.
Yeah.
Dalton Reisner. He doesn't fit this scheme.
Yeah.
He doesn't fit the outside zone. He can't do it. So, because Dolphin fans were like going out there, well, why don't we sign Dalton Reisner? He's out there. And he's like started like 62, 64 games.
Yeah, he was a good player. He was a really good player.
Now he's asking for a lot of money.
Yep.
And he doesn't fit this scheme. He's more of a modeler. He's like, it's more of a
He played for the Broncos and Butch Berry last year, but again, sometimes guys are not fit for the right scheme. And we also know that not a lot of offensive linemen love Butch Berry in that scheme.
Yeah.
So
maybe. But apparently his style doesn't fit what they're trying to do here.
Right.
So, okay, it's a little different. So that's what I was told, that he doesn't necessarily fit this scheme. So, because he's like considered the best interior lineman that's available right now.
Right.
At this, there aren't any tackles unless you want to go get Jason Peters, who's older than Dwayne Brown.
Yeah, older than Ferran Arcet. Yeah, Jason Peters might have a kid that plays in the league, can play in the league right now.
And by the way, Jason Peters is not like the dude in San Francisco who's old but super athletic.
Jason Peters is a Hall of Famer, but Jason Peters at this stage of his career doesn't move the same way Trent Williams does.
No, and he can't fit. He's not.
No,
really
you're probably got to play Jason Peters at guard, given just he can't move as well and really last as long, especially in the movement scheme.
Yeah, but he wants to play. He wants to play. It's going to get the year.
Hey,
so, God bless him. God bless him. All right, follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolfe, and of course, catch him doing his thing here twice a week with us in our KSDT CPA Miami Dolphins report. Cam, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you immensely.
All right, have a good rest of your day.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
This is the Big O Show.